fans of Poppa paints. We are here to have a picnic.
On December 17th, 2024.
And here is Scott Springs.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a city park, right?
I think so, yes.
And we have a picnic. So we're going to show you the picnic.
Uh-huh.
And then we're going to look for some reference photos.
Yeah.
Reference scenery that we can paint a picture of.
Uh-huh.
Maybe I'll paint a picture of my sandwich.
Okay,
right.
That'll be interesting.
Let me turn this around and show them where we are. And there's a cave over there. You can't see it from here, but we'll take you there. Okay.
And you've already painted a rock to look like a hamburger. That's a big hit, so.
That is a big hit.
You can paint the real thing.
All right, so here's our picnic layout.
Yep.
There's my marble rye bread ready for the fixings.
Yep. All set. We got our bug spray that we sprayed the whole table with because of ticks.
Yes.
So we need that.
And how come you only have one slice of bread?
Well, because I thought I'd just start out with one. With a half a sandwich, then I'll get another
And
one.
I got two.
Yeah.
And we're going to walk around here in a little while. And I'm going to show you. This is a conglomerate. This is really the woods. So how do you paint this? Is so much going on here.
Yeah.
How do you paint this? There's the sun coming through the trees.
It's very active. All the foliage and everything. I love it.
Yeah, so we'll show you what we've got, but guess what we're going to do first?
Eat.
Eat.
I'm hungry.
All right, we got mustard as our garnish.
Yep.
Because mayonnaise is fattening.
And you got to keep it cold, so if it gets warm, it's all right.
There we go.
Mustard.
All right, before it goes away, I'm going to get some of these dappled light shots. You never know what we might use.
And the sun is so warm.
The sun is kind of hot, yeah. December 17th, and it feels like Florida. Oh, wait a minute, it is Florida. Are you ready? Somebody just said. The hardest thing for me to paint in this landscape is
Spanish moss.
Spanish moss.
Yeah.
Yep.
And look at it. It's just so beautiful.
It is. It really is. I don't know why I have such a hard time painting it.
It's hard.
Okay. We see a squirrel in a tree. Now that's a good picture right there.
Yeah. The way the sun was between his fur.
Yeah, I don't think I turned the camera on quick enough. We've got sun coming in and out today. Let's see if any of these pictures might be good reference photos. So, let's see. Florida's sinkholes. Where we are at Scott Springs is actually a sinkhole. You know that?
It is. It's pretty amazing.
Look at the map. All the reported sinkholes in the state of Florida. And there's way more than that because there's a lot of little ones.
Oh, yeah.
You can see them if you're just walking through the woods. You can find them. All right, let's look for reference photos. Okay, look at all that dappled light. The sun is out, making it really pretty. So let's just walk and see what we get. Look at this big tree here. Boy, I know it's not as big as the one we saw yesterday, but that's big. Very big. I'm glad there's a handrail here.
There they are. There's two of them. They're playing.
Maybe in the next life I want to be a squirrel. Look at that. There's a good shot right there.
Oh, that's pretty.
Like a trail that goes through the woods.
That's pretty.
Let me adjust my camera here. Yeah. That looks nice. Well, I'm glad there's no steps. It's all a ramp.
Yeah.
I think there used to be steps here.
I think there was too.
So we want to show you the cave. I actually painted a picture of this cave, but it really came out looking less like it actually looks, and more like a fantasy version of it, I guess you would say.
Yeah, but look at how high the water is today.
The water is super high.
Usually you could walk on the rocks and walk to the cave.
Absolutely, yeah, you're right. That water is higher than I've ever seen it.
Yeah.
Well, here's some steps.
Oh.
I just gotta be careful.
Yeah, these are slippery.
All right, made it to the bottom, kids. All right, let's look at this. Well, we were hoping for a body of water, and we found one.
Yeah.
I didn't know this was going to have water in it like this.
Wow, and all those holes in the rocks.
And there is some really good reference photos right here. For some reason, I didn't think this would be a good place. But it is. I'm going to go slow. Anybody want to paint any of these, feel free. It's a big wall there. There's a cave. Do you see that cave over there? And then
There's
over
little
tiny holes that a person couldn't climb into. But that one right there, I think that's the popular one with the kids.
Yeah.
I think they go in there and, I don't know, drink beer, whatever kids do.
You can tell it's a spring because you can see to the bottom there
It's very clear water.
where the boil is.
But where is a boil here?
Isn't that the clearest
It looks
spot
like it
over
would
there?
be, but I don't see it moving.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
But if it was really a boil, this would have had water in it all along.
Yeah.
But it is very clear. It is Scott Spring. So this is a spring-fed body of water. We just don't know where the spring is exactly.
No.
But look at all the ferns on the wall. And we're literally under ground level. We're literally lower than the surface.
Yeah. There's a reflection over there with the rocks.
Yeah. Very nice. All right, Papa's got to climb the stairs now. Oh, here's a sign. Let's see. Let's see, I'll try to read it. Florida's aquifers, our most precious water resources. Springs occur when groundwater discharges to the surface through natural openings in the ground. Florida's geology, I'll let you look at something else, I'll just read it. Florida's geology allows for the creation of many interesting features, including sinkholes. I lost my place. Including sinkholes. Where was I?
Right up here.
Underground rivers, springs, and caves. Want to do the camera part?
Okay.
Just hold the camera and pan the area.
All right.
But just keep it near enough to hear the microphone.
Okay.
Let's see. These features make up what is called karst topography, K-A-R-S-T, which forms as flowing water, slowly dissolves the limestone and dolostone, D-O-L-O-S-T-O-N-E. Scott Springs, where you stand, is an example of one of these fascinating karst features. It's a word I never knew, karst.
Karst.
This stunning limestone grotto is actually a Florida sink, which is connected to the aquifer. It is important to protect the unique and beautiful places in Florida, such as Scott Springs, and this means protecting Florida's aquifer. I like that. All right.
It is beautiful.
I don't know if you can see these little bugs. Look at all these little bugs on here.
Yeah, some look like ants and others have wings.
Yeah.
Are they termites? What do you think they are?
I don't know.
But something's attracted them to here.
Yeah. I don't know what they are.
My goodness.
Oh well. Here's another area that might be good. I really don't know what would be a good reference photo shot until I get home and look at it on the computer. Kind of make a decision after I see it. But this looks like it might be. All right, now we're going to drive slowly through the park because kids, Papa's legs are not like they used to be. But they're getting better, right, Robin?
That's right.
So Robin is going to hold the camera and we're going to try to get some more reference photo shots, and then when we get home, and for me it'll be tomorrow, then we can find out what looks good as a reference photo and what we want to paint, and then it'll be day 5 already in my art journal.
Oh my gosh.
Hard to believe, 5 days already.
Yeah.
And the paper, look at these people not stopping for me.
Yeah.
The paper that I'm painting on is really not watercolor paper. It's really not art paper at all, unless you're just doing pen and ink and pencil. But anyway, so I don't know what we'll see. I don't know what we'll capture on the camera. But right now the sun is out, so that gives us an opportunity to have some of that dappled light, the contrast. You got your side window right there. You might see some things.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's pretty.
Any of these pictures you could use as a reference photo. Right now, I don't know what I will use when I get back home, but feel free to talk, Ramos.
Okay.
Fill in the blanks.
Okay. Oops.
I'll turn the car around and we'll get the other side.
Yeah.
There's a playground. You might want to paint the playground. That might be fun.
Sure. Especially with the bike racks. I think they're pretty cool. I like fences in the foreground. Like right now we've got the fence in the foreground.
Yeah.
It kind of sets everything off for me.
Yeah.
The fence in the foreground.
So, right now with the sunlight hitting things, it really gives a nice effect.
Oh, it does.
Like over here, you see right in front of us that trail where those people are walking?
Uh-huh.
When I get the camera, when I get the window on that side,
okay.
if you could just get that shot right down that trail.
All right, let me get my glasses on.
See right there?
Here?
Yeah, see where those people are walking?
Oh, okay.
That looks nice, especially if you can zoom in on those people. That might be a good reference photo. You see him?
There we go. I think I got him.
From this angle over here. Get away from that car. Yeah.
Yeah, nice.
That might be a good reference photo right there. Put a few people in the picture. Not a bad idea.
Few people changes the feeling of the landscape. Anything that's living and breathing, an animal or a person. Any kind of action changes the landscape. Oh, zoomed in here. There we go. I'm not a good videographer, but I try. So we'll see what happens. And I like foliage in the front, like this. Paint the distant shots, and I like dressing it up with the foliage.
Well, the three levels of most good landscapes are the background, the midground, and the foreground. Mm-hmm. Easy.
Yeah.
Put something close to the camera, far away from the camera, and then in the middle.
I like taking my time with the foreground. Background's important too.
This is a weird place because this is where the country meets the city, right here.
Yeah. What is it you call it? Urban
landscape, yeah.
Yep.
Can you get through the front window, that curved roadway?
Sure.
That looks nice too.
Oh, it does. Okay.
I don't know what's going to be a good reference photo, to be honest with you. But we're having fun. Plus, every time we do one of these, it's another place in our community that's recorded as a piece of art in the journal.
Yeah.
Over here,
That's kind of pretty.
yeah.
And that's a different perspective.
Yeah. It's a little pavilion and the person sitting there.
And that's a walkway all the way down.
Is there water down there?
I don't know.
No, I don't think so.
Want me to run out?
No.
Okay, I can.
No. That's pretty too, though. Real pretty. Yeah.
Let me get the swing.
You got it?
Yeah. Different looks at the swing and the bench.
Yeah. All right, we have the camera on.
Okay.
Wrap up our little intro here.
Okay.
Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed the little exploration of Scott Springs, and maybe there's some pictures in here you can use as a reference photo, because I'm going to use one of them.
Yeah.
Are you going to do any?
Yes, I think I will.
Maybe.
I think I will. Yeah.
So everybody, just have fun. Don't put too much pressure on yourself, and have fun with it. And remember, it doesn't have to look exactly like the landscape. You can take liberties. Remember the Bob Ross thing. There are no mistakes. What's the rest of the sentence?
I can't remember.
Only happy accidents.
Only happy accidents.
There are no mistakes. Only happy accidents.
And everybody has their own style, so it works for me.
All right, let's get busy painting. All right, here we go. All right, let's get started painting another page in the journal. Today's going to be day 5. So just to recap, there's day 1, there's day 2, there's day 3, there's day 4, and that's going to be day 5, the blank page. And if you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you for tuning in, or whatever we do on YouTube, for tubing in. Thank you for tubing in. Oh, maybe I just coined something. Anyway, so this blank page is going to represent some artwork based on this reference photo, which is one of the screenshots I got from the video that you just watched. And you can tell I chose a very, very green picture. So what do you think I'm going to do? Well, you know what? If I had some... maybe some casein or something else that wouldn't reactivate. Probably casein would be the best. I might put some orange down, or sort of some blue. No, probably some orange. But I don't. And that would be an underpainting, and we'll talk about that, I guess, in another video. I've done underpainting videos before. But anyway, so this is the scene. It's a little bit cluttered looking from my perspective now, and challenging because there's so much in it, and I'm probably going to crop it a little bit because it's the dimensions are not exactly the same ratio as this paper. So I'll probably put some foreground trees over here, and then that's that beautiful light that's coming across the grass over here, and a few trees. So this might be not so difficult. We'll see. I will tell you that I never know how it's going to be. But I do have, my paint is gouache, and it's all dried from previous uses, and I'll be going back to it, and I'll get some fresh gouache also as I get deeper into the picture. But right now, let me just get that that bright yellow green in the middle. I kind of like that as like a focal point, so I'll put that right there, just kind of to get started, just a way to get started. And then I guess I'll take some of this yellow ochre and kind of go around it, some of the dappled light that's on the ground. And the yellow ochre also works pretty well with the leaf covering. There were a lot of leaves in Florida. Our autumn happens like now in December. I know, right? That's crazy, but that's how it is. And it was a beautiful walk yesterday. Hope you enjoyed the video. I don't know that it's like the best, like if you're going to make a travel video. See the real Florida. Follow Poppa and Robin in the woods. I don't know that would work so much, but anyway, I'm just gonna have some fun. You know, the real thing is to have some fun. The idea of doing a journal to me has really appealed to me. You know, I must have worked on the greeting cards. If you look back on some of my videos from this past year, the greeting cards dominated my year. I really did a lot of greeting cards, and I don't regret it. No, those are really precious to me, and we raised money for the church with the greeting cards, so no complaints here. But it is fun to kind of shift gears a little bit and to do something a little out of the ordinary. So right now I'm using the gouache like watercolor. I'm just kind of laying it down, and let's see where it goes from here. I'm mixing a lot too. I'm mixing my greens with my yellow ochres, and just there's a lot of light in this picture that I don't want to mess up, so I'll keep some yellow like right there. You know, we can always come back to it and darken it. And because it's gouache, with the fresh out of the tube gouache, I can have some fun and paint light on dark, which is kind of hard to do with regular watercolor. And up back here too, there's some light also. There's just so much. There's a lot of contrast in this picture, is what it is, in the reference photo. A lot of green, a lot of contrast, and believe it or not, there's a lot of light blue in here too. I'm just kind of using my artist's eye and kind of trying to discern what colors to put in here. There's some of this dappled light that's coming across everything. And back here, I think what I want to put back here is this very, almost like a hazy blue behind the trees. You can just see a hint of the sky coming through. I think that's what I'll try to establish. So really, at this point in the painting, what would you call it? Like if you were just to paint this, you would say, well, that's very abstract. Absolutely abstract, yep. But there's that light blue for the sky, and even though you don't see the sky at all in the reference photo, you do see the effects of the sky. And so that's kind of what I guess I'm looking at there. And this tree that's going to be right here, to me, looks like it's got that light blue in it. I'll go ahead and paint that in there, just to kind of remind me. Yeah, it's a very light blue tree. And there's another one right here. Goes all the way to the bottom. And there's another thin one over here. These trees go all the way to the top, so I know blue looks weird right now, but I think that's going to be a good base color for these trees here. So how you guys doing? I enjoyed the feedback. I'm so happy that you like the walks, because I wanted to do something where the reference photos, well, where the reference photos come from photos that I took myself or that Robin took, rather than getting them off the internet, which is kind of what I was doing. I was just like searching for landscapes and stuff, and that's great. I mean, I did a whole series of cards, I think, during the year where the reference photo came from what was I going to say? It came from, oh, I lost my train of thought there. Well, now I don't know what I was going to say. Oh, I know what I was going to say. It came from Street View. You know, on Google you can go to Street View and go to a specific place. So, but I think it's more fun to actually go to a specific place instead of just doing it virtually or with the computer. You know, I think I'm kind of liking the idea. These are all just trying to get a grip on the composition here. So we got trees, we got more trees, got a few trees over here, and I think those are going to be that's just a marker, a whole. It just reminds me of what I want to do there. All right, now let's take some dark. I think I have some Payne's gray in here I can use to kind of establish the end here. Where the woods start getting deep over there. I think so. It's kind of where the woods, where if you went deeper into there, you'd be in bear country. We don't want to do that again. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you saw the video, last one or two videos ago, but yeah, we had a bear encounter. So, alright, just a darker here. There's so much we can do here. So much in this background here. Yeah, this is a tough scene. There's a lot going on here. So I kind of have to figure it out. Yeah, there's a lot of trees. A lot of trees and a lot of palm bushes. At Easter time, all over the country, people order palms from Florida or from any place that grows palms. But I know around here people make money just picking palms. I don't know if they are allowed to do that. Yeah, I don't know if you're allowed to pick them. But I know people send them on Etsy. Etsy? Is that where they? No, I think it's Etsy. I'm not sure. But one of them, where people can sell things online. They'll pick the palms for Palm Sunday for people in parts of the world that don't have palms. And guess what? They don't wait till Easter. They start probably like the beginning of the year. They'll probably start next week when the new year hits. All right, let's try and grab some of these greens and just kind of get them in here. Just keep getting them in here. It's a very green picture, so I gotta make sure I keep it green. Somewhere that's green. You know that song? Somewhere that's green from Little Shop of Horrors. Yeah, this is a challenge. But we'll make it work. I hope. I hope I can pull this off. The fortunate thing is it's just a sketch. And if I get the sketch right, then I will have all of the kind of the information I need. That's what's good about doing a sketch with color, with paint. You have all the information you need for a larger painting, and then you take it from there. I think I need to be a little bit lower over here. Get these shadows in here. Yeah. The area is very resilient from hurricanes. I'm sure most of you know that we are known for having hurricanes here in Florida. And we had our share just a couple months ago, and a lot of these parks had a lot of downed trees and a lot of cleanup that was necessary. So the people who work for the city in the city parks and the people who work for the state in the state parks, they had their hands full. They had a lot of work to do. But now, look at it. It looks really nice. Looks very comforting. It's a beautiful thing to walk through the woods, not just here in Florida, but probably everywhere. I don't know, it just feels like you're closer to nature or something. That's why when people come to Florida and they enjoy the theme parks, that's really wonderful. But I always wish they would get the message to just take one day out of your trip and try to see the real place. And I tell myself that when I visit other places too, because I love being a tourist also. So, there's just so much in God's natural world that is enjoyable to see and to experience and to learn about. The funny thing is, when you look at the picture, you see all the trees one at a time. You say, "Oh, I forgot that one. Oh, I didn't get that one." And the little trick, I think, from the art perspectives is to go ahead and use use the blue to kind of put the distant trees in there, and the blues and the grays. And I'm using Payne's gray to get the extra dark areas. It's a possibility that you could use black. Black is not necessarily taboo in my way of thinking about art. But Payne's gray seems to do the trick for a lot. And I'm not using anything straight out of the tube yet. I probably will, though. Okay, there's our other shadows here. Let's get a lot of green back there. The yellows and the greens, they all kind of come together. Yeah, we'll have to define some more of these things once we get it in there. There's a lot of trees back here. Just gotta keep putting them in there. It's really a combination of lights and darks, just dappled everywhere. It's God's masterpiece right there in front of me. God's masterpiece. This is taking a little bit longer than I thought it would, but that's okay. Actually, it's only been 24 minutes in the painting part, so I guess I'm just getting impatient. Not a good thing. Not remind myself, be patient, be patient, be patient. And maybe there'll be lots of happy accidents in here. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping to have lots of happy accidents. Because there's no way I'm going to be able to paint this exactly as it looks. But I can do my best, right? Do whatever I think is the best thing to do. And what did I tell you? So I'm going to tell myself the same thing. Just have fun. Okay, there I did it. I told myself, have fun. Okay, a lot of this growth over here is palms. So they have that palmy look to them, you know. Some of the stuff in the foreground also. A lot of palms. Palmettos and palms, and I'm not a botanist, I don't know the difference. Even though I read all those signs along the trails. You would think I would know. So I think the real thing for me to focus on is the idea that there's a lot going on like past this point here. It's kind of like the cutoff point, you know, and then behind it is all this other stuff. And even though you can't really see the sky, it peeks through just a little bit. And all these trees. It was a very wet day yesterday, but not really rainy. But it was overcast, and so when the sun came out, it really did change the landscape from an art point of view, I should say. You know. There's a lot going on back there. A lot of Spanish moss, a lot of tree trunks, just a lot going on. And I think the hint of palms is a good kind of an art trick. Because there are palms everywhere. And I'm still using the dried gouache from a couple days of painting. But I have a feeling I'll be using the straight from the tube gouache. Yeah, please feel free to use the video if you want to create your own reference photo from there, that would be awesome. And then if you could share it, I would encourage that. I would love to see what you came up with. And we have the Poppa Paints Facebook group where you can post the artwork that you did. And yeah, it's not a competition. There is no contest. I'm very, I don't know how I feel about contests, but sometimes they help, especially if you're young and you're trying to make a career. Sometimes it's good to have a contest that you can say you won. You know, you got a prize or whatever. But contests can hurt your ego too, and you know, ego is an interesting thing. You got to have a healthy self-esteem. I like that word better than ego. You got to have a good self-esteem. At my age, it doesn't matter a whole lot, but when you're young, you really do have to. You really have to feel that you are good at stuff, because we live in a world where so many people are trying to prove to the world that they're the best at whatever it is they do. And maybe that's important in certain things, but I think in art, whether it's musical art or visual art like this, or dancing or anything, I really think the most innovative stuff comes from the people who didn't listen to the message that you have to do it this way in order to compete. You know, I was watching a baking competition show on TV. Robert and I were watching it, and I don't know anything about baking, but I was listening to the judges, and they were complimenting the bakers, the chefs, whatever. They were complimenting them when they came up with different ideas that they hadn't seen before. And that's really what I like to do. I like to compliment people. There's a young lady in our town who paints pictures that are so different looking than anything I have seen anybody do. And so I think that's great. I mean, she's a young woman. I know her mother from years ago, from the radio show that Rob and I used to do. But she is just a wonderful artist. So we knew the artist I'm talking about when she was a little girl. And now she's doing art, and she's really, really good at it and very, very unique at it. In fact, I was with Robin at the First Friday Art Walk one time, and this woman came by with a piece of art that she had purchased. And I asked her, is that a lily heart painting? And she said yes. And I said I could recognize that style. So there you go. That's the perfect example of how I think you can approach art. You're a young person. You know, if you're old like me, set in your ways, you're probably not going to want to veer a whole lot into the territory of being like the odd man out, because you're set in your ways. You've been doing it for a long time, and it's not going to be something that happens naturally. It could still happen. Never say never, right? But you're probably not going to have your feelings hurt too bad, because you've probably got a tough skin by now, you know. But a young person easily could have their dreams squashed just from some irresponsible comments, you know. So, okay. So if you're young and you're watching this, that's my message to you. If you're old and you're watching this, welcome to the club. Do you know, I have something to say to old people, since I am an old person. And it's got nothing to do with art. It has to do with fast food. Okay. I have something to tell you, and I don't think this applies to any of you, but let me just say something. So I go to Arby's the other day with Robin, and the staff was short-staffed. They didn't have as much help as they should have I don't know the reason for that, and I'm not going to even speculate as to the reason for that. But I know those young people behind that counter, they were working. I could see them working. They were working hard. They were putting together sandwiches. And there were people in line, and they were all old people like me, all old, and they were grumbling, okay? All right. So what were they grumbling about? They were grumbling because it was taking so long to get their food. Okay. Well, listen, I have something to say to my fellow old people. It's embarrassing to hear you do that, because what you don't see, and what you should think about next time, what you don't see is you don't see all of the orders that they make. That when we were kids, you get in line at a fast food place, McDonald's or something. This was Arby's, but I mean, you get in line, and guess what? You can count the number of people ahead of you. And you say, oh, I got 3 people ahead of me. But nowadays, you don't just have 3 people ahead of you. All of the people who ordered on their phones, all of the people who ordered by like Grubhub and Uber Eats, and all of the people who have ordered food, and plus the drive-through, right? There's the drive-throughs also. So those kids, they're making sandwiches not just for you and the 2 and 3 people ahead of you. They're making sandwiches for you and the 2 and 3 people ahead of you, and the 10 people that phoned it in on their app, and the 10 or 12 cars that are in line at the drive-through. They got their hands full, and you're standing there grumbling because you didn't get your sandwich in 2 minutes. And yet, if you went to a fancy restaurant, it's not unusual to wait a half hour for not a sandwich usually, but you know what I'm talking about. In a high-end restaurant, come on. So give the kids a break. They're trying their hardest. They're working hard. They're working. There are some kids who don't even want to work. Come on, give them a little break. And I'm not talking to you. I'm just expressing, you know who I'm talking to. I'm talking to the people at that Arby's, because they were grumbling, and I just felt embarrassed because all of their grumbles could be heard. I know that those kids heard them. And P.S., they weren't all kids. There was a lady back there that was probably our age, my age. So yeah, there, I'm done. I'm done with my public service announcement. I think the trick here with this painting is to get all these shadows in, and then I'll take the paint from the tube and get some of the light. And I gotta get lots of areas back here that are dark. Kind of mixing Payne's gray and burnt umber. There's lots of areas back here that. Yeah, I actually found this park before it was considered a park, when it was just that a little trail down to that cave that I showed you in the video. All right, now I gotta try taking a few chances here. I'm trying on purpose to make it a little bit muddy so that I can add some light spots to it. a lot of dirty water on here. I'm using the dirty water to create some of these dark areas. And the dark areas are basically just the foundation for the light areas at this point. It's important to be able to see the composition, though. Let me go ahead and get some branches that are kind of just leaning across. There are quite a few of them, actually. I'm trying to make sure I get a little bit more green in there. All right, now let me get some of the tubes of paint. And I think mostly what I want is yellow and white. So maybe just put some on here. And maybe I should get some Payne's Gray on there too. It's for some darker areas. Maybe, you know what? I don't really think I need to do that. But just get some tube. Here's the tube. Here we go. So, you know, I think next time I order gouache paint, I'm going to only order the primaries, blue, red, and yellow. And I'm going to order yellow ochre and burnt sienna and raw umber. I think that's probably the way to go. So a little bit of light right there. A little bit of light right there. This can go up the whole tree, I guess. I'm using white and yellow just to create some light on some of these trees. This one right here. Yeah, it kind of looks nice. A little bit of white light coming in from the side. I'll get over here too on this tree. Get this yellow here. A lot of this right here. Where the little pieces of grass can be seen, like up against the dark shadows. Lots of little spots in the trees where there's some reflections off of the leaves. These little tiny areas. Here we go. Lots of those palms over there. That can be seen on the edge of the thick brush there. Maybe a little more of this burnt umber. I'm sorry, yellow ochre. A little more of that there. Okay, I think I'm done. So there we have now our painting on day 4 of the art journal. And it is from Scott Springs in Ocala, Florida. All right, well, thank you for watching. That was fun. And we'll do it again tomorrow. Bye.